Many people jump into the carnivore diet because they are exhausted from bloating, failed diets, constant confusion, and endless guessing about what to eat. And at first it feels like a miracle because inflammation drops, digestion improves, cravings disappear, and energy returns. But months later, many find themselves more inflamed, tired, stuck at a weight plateau, or even gaining weight, wondering how something so clean could start making them feel worse. And the uncomfortable truth is that for the majority of people, the problem is not carnivore itself, but how it is being done, because carnivore is a powerful metabolic tool, not a lifelong identity, and most people unknowingly make critical mistakes that slowly sabotage their thyroid, gut, hormones, and metabolism over time. And I know this firsthand because I personally made nearly all of these mistakes and paid for them with burnout, gut damage, and years of frustration, which is why platforms like Medical Truth Zone exist to cut through the noise and expose what actually works versus what sounds good on social media. And the first major mistake is staying carnivore for too long without cycling, because while carnivore works incredibly well as a short-term reset, extended restriction can cause the active thyroid hormone T3 to drop, stress-related reverse T3 to rise, microbial diversity in the gut to shrink, gut lining mucin production to decline, and stress hormones like cortisol to increase as the body is forced to create glucose through muscle breakdown and adrenal stress rather than dietary carbohydrates, making the metabolism rigid instead of flexible, leading to stalled fat loss, returning cravings, low energy, and intolerance to foods that were once harmless, which is why most people feel incredible for the first 30 to 90 days and then suddenly feel worse. Not because carnivore failed, but because the human metabolism thrives on adaptability, not permanent restriction, and the correct approach is to use carnivore in cycles, 30, 60, or 90 days as a therapeutic intervention, then strategically transition out to regain metabolic flexibility while keeping the benefits. The second mistake is jumping into carnivore too aggressively from a high-carbohydrate, sugar-heavy lifestyle without preparation, because moving straight from years of insulin resistance, processed foods, and damaged mitochondria into zero-carb eating shocks the system, leading to fatigue, electrolyte crashes, and poor adaptation. Whereas a smarter approach is to first reduce carbohydrates to under 100 grams per day, eliminate seed oils and refined sugars for several weeks, then transition into ketogenic eating before attempting carnivore, allowing the body to become fat-adapted gradually. The third mistake is overconsuming pasteurized dairy, which is one of the most overlooked inflammatory triggers on carnivore, as most adults globally have some degree of lactose intolerance and react poorly to a 1-casein found in conventional cow dairy, especially when enzymes are destroyed through pasteurization, leading to bloating, skin issues, congestion, and gut irritation. And the solution is either removing dairy entirely or switching to higher quality options like grass-fed A2 dairy or goat and sheep dairy, which contain less lactose, more medium-chain triglycerides, and are far easier to digest, especially for those using carnivore to calm autoimmune symptoms. The fourth mistake is breaking carnivore incorrectly by suddenly reintroducing raw vegetables, high-oxalate plants, nuts, or fiber-dense foods that overwhelm a gut that has adapted to a low-residue diet, causing digestive distress and inflammation, when instead the proper method is slow, strategic reintroduction using cooked, low-toxicity foods like zucchini, squash, carrots, avocado, peeled cucumber, or mushrooms, introduced one at a time over 72 hours to observe reactions. The fifth mistake is assuming all animal fats are equal when in reality, many carnivore followers consume inflammatory fats from grain-fed meats, hypofat pork and chicken, processed meats, or hidden vegetable oils in fake butters, all of which undermine mitochondrial health and promote inflammation, while the correct approach is prioritizing clean, stable fats like grass-fed beef tallow, bone marrow, pasture-raised egg yolks, wild-caught fatty fish, and properly sourced dairy. The sixth mistake is undereating protein due to extreme satiety, which may sound harmless but leads to muscle loss, metabolic slowdown, and fatigue over time, especially during prolonged carnivore phases. And the solution is consuming roughly 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight to preserve lean mass, stabilize blood sugar, and maintain metabolic health. The seventh mistake is ignoring nose-to-tail nutrition by relying only on muscle meats, which lack key micronutrients like choline, glycine, copper, taurine, K2, and omega-3s, all essential for hormone balance, detoxification, brain health, and connective tissue, making organ meats, bone broth, collagen, seafood, and marrow critical components of a well-designed carnivore protocol. The eighth mistake is neglecting electrolytes, as carnivore causes rapid water loss and mineral depletion, leading to cramps, dizziness, brain fog, heart palpitations, and fatigue if sodium, magnesium, and potassium are not replenished daily, making salt intake and mineral support non-negotiable rather than optional. The ninth mistake is ignoring stress and cortisol, because even the most perfect diet cannot overcome poor sleep, chronic stress, trauma, or constant sympathetic nervous system activation, all of which block fat loss and healing, making sunlight exposure, gratitude, proper sleep timing, walking after meals, and grounding practices powerful yet overlooked tools that amplify dietary results. And the 10th and final mistake is expecting carnivore to fix everything, when in reality it is just one tool among many, unable to resolve emotional eating, unresolved trauma, toxin exposure, sedentary habits, or poor lifestyle structure on its own. And when used correctly, carnivore is a powerful reset that clears inflammation, improves insulin sensitivity, and restores metabolic health. But lasting transformation only happens when it is combined with strategic cycling, quality food sourcing, adequate protein, electrolytes, stress management, and metabolic flexibility, which is why the real takeaway is not to fear carnivore or worship it, but to understand it, respect it, and apply it intelligently, because when used as intended, it can save years of frustration, protect your gut and thyroid, and help you finally build a body that is resilient, adaptable, and healthy rather than trapped in another dietary extreme.